Hi, this is the demo video for my PaperCAM, which is my attempt at a digital camera with a Retro 5. Anyways, right now it's not really working, mainly because this camera module right here is defective. And I tried it with a lot of my other Raspberry Pis. It did not work. Adafruit is currently shipping one out to me. The ETA is in like 3 weeks. So right now, it's not working as a camera, but I did get the e-ink display to work. For instance, when I press this button, it will update. Right now, it's just running a script that will run hello, but this can update any picture or anything. So it works. It's just as soon as the camera's updated, instead of the Raspberry Pi taking the image from something that I put in, like say just print this. Instead, it will take the image from this and then upload it here. So just like a couple of lines of code. But as soon as that camera module arrives. But I wanted to demonstrate that when this is pressed, the screen changes. It's pretty cool. And e-ink is super finicky, so after I think like 20 hours, 30 hours of tinkering the code, I was able to get this to work. So I'm really proud that this is able to work. Let me walk you through the whole design of it. So in the back, it's kind of floppy through the tape right now, like it's not sticky anymore. In the back of it, I have a Adafruit 1000C power boost, and this is what powers the whole thing. The battery is only 3.7 volts, but my Pi needs 5 volts and 5 volts, so this outputs 5 volts. Very cool. Here I have a Raspberry Pi, which is the brains of the whole operation. It's also connected to my Mac, so I can see stuff there, so I can get a log just to make sure everything's working. Here I have some capacitors. These two capacitors are just to make sure that when the button is pressed, multiple presses don't register. I think it's a low pass filter. I'm not really a tech guy, not really an electronics guy, so this is all new. So I think that's what it is. And this is a bulk capacitor. So when the image is being taken and there's going to be a drop in voltage, this capacitor is going to help equalize that. These are connected to the 3 volt line, and this is connected to the 5 volt line. So this is for an overall stabilizer, and these are just for the 3 volt stabilizers, so for the display and for the camera. One thing that I wired wrong, and this was something weird with the documentation, the e-ink display said that it was a 5 volt display, so with the PCB it's routed to the 5 volt line of my Pi, but apparently it works better with 3 volts. So that's why this wire exists. I soldered here to one of my capacitors, so the voltage in for the display has a 3 volt source. Everything's plug and play in this except this. This is soldered in because it loses power. But say my Raspberry Pi just dies for some reason, I can just put this back. I can just plug this out and plug it back in, and everything's held together by screws. The final design is like once the camera's attached. This gets to attach right here, and this will attach right here. Obviously, I don't have it attached because it doesn't work, and I needed to show Adafruit, hey, it's actually effective. Here's the same camera not working with different Raspberry Pis. Anyways, so there's that. Let me talk a little bit about the design philosophy. I really liked the square Instax. Like, I always loved the design of it, so I wanted to emulate it with a square camera, and which is what this is. And there's a tiny viewfinder, so say you're using it, you can just be like, press, and then the display will update with your image. Right now, it's pretty bare bones. There is a 3D printed case on the GitHub, but one of my friends is printing it for me because he has a 3D printer. I unfortunately do not. But he lives in Texas, and I'm in Pennsylvania, but he's my college roommate, so I'll get to pick up the case in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it won't be naked for long, but for now it is. But it is all functional, despite the camera not being there, because, yay, defective parts. But, anyways, this is my demo. Everything else works. Here, I'll just test it again with the button, and yeah, honestly, this itself is really cool, like, just seeing it update. Oh, over here, there's a power switch, because obviously you're going to want to turn the camera off. The software it's running on is, I just made a modification on Raspberry Pi OS. I just found that to be the easiest. Like, they already had a Linux base, and I could just call libraries for the camera and for the display. So that just made coding it a lot more easier. So because I didn't, instead of having to hard code it, I can just use some libraries from Waveshare and from Raspberry Pi themselves with the camera, if it worked. But yeah. So on the back, I have some graphic designs that I made. I used to do graphic design in the past, and this is my logo. It's called the PaperCAM because, haha, paper display, camera, PaperCAM, haha. And Spherical Cow's just an inside joke between me and some of my friends. All this is hand soldered, so lovely soldering job here. And yeah, I do have to trim these. These are not trimmed yet, but I will do that later. But I hope you enjoyed this demo. And this is a bit long, longer than the other demos. But this was by far my favorite project that I made. And yeah, I'm really glad that you were able to see it. Thanks for watching.